Today is September the 27th, 2009, and I'm speaking to Mearlene Jordan. So, Mearlene, who are your parents?
My parents were Johnny Jordan and Ruth Ann Jordan.
And where were you living when you were small? Look, far back as you can remember.
I lived in Sandersville, Mississippi.
Where's your house?
Where's my house?
Where's the house?
The house was in Sandersville, Mississippi.
In town?
Oh, it was in the country part of Sandersville, Mississippi.
And how big was the place?
The house was big because the family was large.
So, do you, let me see, do you remember, for instance, your sister Lummy?
Yeah, I remember Lummy, because Lummy helped raise all of us.
How much older was she than you?
I guess about 10 years.
A good sister?
Yeah, she was a good sister. She was just like a real sister.
You remember your sister E. Catherine?
No, I never remember E. Catherine.
All right. So what did your parents do to raise money? I mean, to support the family? I know I've heard of Granddaddy doing some logging or lumbering, and I know you did some farming. So could you give me some details on that?
Okay, my father was a timber dealer. He had 2 or 3 trucks running, and he hired people to work for him. And he really was the only black person that a white man worked for in Mississippi. And we also raised cotton, corn, potatoes. We made syrups. We raised iced potatoes. You name it.
You grew all your own food? Or
Yes.
most of it?
We grew most of our food.
Okay. You said that Granddaddy ran trucks. What does that mean? Did he go out in the woods and chop the trees? Did he start there?
Yes, he bought these logging trucks, and they'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and leave the house, and his men would come out and drive the trucks, and they cut the wood, the logs. They were big logs, long logs, and he supervised them, and they would drive the log trucks, and then he had 1 or 2 putwood trucks. That means the little wood, they call them putwood. And he was a very smart man, and he worked hard.
How many people worked for him, do you think?
I don't know, maybe it was about 6 or 7. I know Limey husband worked for my dad, and Clement, my husband worked for my father. And 2 or 3 more, it could have been 5 or 6 men, or maybe more, because I was little.
You remember when he started doing that?
No, I don't remember.
Do you know when was he doing that when he married Grandmama, for instance?
I don't know. Only thing I remember that he was doing it, I don't remember when he started it. But when I became of age, that's the only thing I remember him doing.
Yeah, I don't remember him doing that. So, when did he retire?
Well, I wasn't home when Dad retired. I think he retired when he reached around 72 or 73. I don't know when he retired, really. But I wasn't home. I was in Pennsylvania then.
Okay. So, say when you were a little girl, what was the routine of getting up in the morning and getting ready for school and all that?
We would get up every morning around 6 o'clock. And we eat. Sometimes we have what you call pancakes. You don't know what a pancake is. Pancake and syrup. We would eat that. And then we would have grits and eggs sometimes, because we had plenty of chickens on the farm. We would eat that and then go to school. There was a lot of us going to school because when the school bus came by, we usually would fill up the bus, just the Jordan family.
Milk cows?
Oh, I had to milk cows. I forgot about that. My job was I had to make 2 pounds of biscuits and go out and milk the cows. So I would go out and I do this and do this and do this. And I'd milk the cow and I bring the milk back in. Then I had to strain the milk and then put it in the ice box because we didn't have a refrigerator. Then we would have buttermilk, and then we would eat that too as quick as possible before it ruined.
You remember ever going to visit your grandparents?
Oh yes, we would visit Grandmama, and I really liked going to Grandmama's house. I don't know why. But Grandmama was very particular about everything. She would buy a new stove, and that new stove would stay new for 5 or 10 years. And that's something that I never understood about Grandmama.
Mm-hmm.
Why her thing would stay new so long.
Mm-hmm. Did she have any kids living in the house with her when you were little?
I don't remember.
No grandkids living with her?
No.
No.
I don't remember any grandkids.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember Plush, your daddy's daddy?
No, I don't remember Grandma and Grandpa on my father's side. I think I remember seeing them once. I could have been 2 years old. I have just a vague remember of Pa. We used to call them Pa, Ma and Pa, but I don't remember them.
Oh, where'd you go to school?
We first went to school in Sandersville, and Mrs. Lowndes was our teacher. And after that, they moved us to Mount Olive, Mississippi. And that's where I went to school, at Mount Olive, Mississippi.
School just for black kids?
Yeah, just for black kids.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Olive, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. So, how far in school did your older brothers and sisters go? They go to school? Like Uncle Junior and Lummy, and May?
I think Lummy finished the 12th grade. I think Lummy finished the 12th grade. And Junior, I don't remember whether he went to school or not because I know he went to the Army. Because every time an airplane would come over, we'd run out and say, Mama, that Junior, Junior. And I don't remember. But LMA, 10th grade. Johnny Ruth, 12th. All the rest of us to 12th grade. When did you take us to Mama?
It was January 2006. The exact date's on the top of it. We were sitting in the den one evening. She was just talking.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what Mama's saying. Yeah, all this is true. Okay. Yeah, all this is true. A lot of it. No.
I believe Grandmama, absolutely. Yeah, I believe her over the standard history of Stafford Springs.
Yeah, she said her granddaddy had been in Stafford Springs, and the white people told me,
Yeah.
get away from it, get away from it.
You tell me about your religious life at home.
Well, we were Methodists, and we went to church every Sunday. And my father had a T-Model car, and he would make 2 loads. He'd take 1 load and come back and take the next load. And that's how we got to church.
Mm-hmm. How many kids in each load?
I don't know, but the car was full.
Mm-hmm.
And that T-Model car, that was something.
Mm-hmm. Grandmama was raised Baptist, wasn't she?
Well, when she married my father, I know Chapel Hill Methodist Church. I don't know where she was raised. But
Shady Grove, her home church is Baptist, the place where she buried.
Yeah, but when she married my father, she must have became a Methodist, because we went to a Methodist church. That church still there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we were. John Wesley, the church that John Wesley invented.
Mm-hmm. You have any social activities you went to? Dances, parties?
Well, we went to the banquet once a year. I think we was in the 12th grade then. They would have a banquet every year. And I think I remember going to the movie maybe once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers.
Mother said something about Granddaddy getting a deal, trying to get a group discount for his girls to go in to see the movies.
I don't remember any of that. I don't know.
And I heard you had a big wagon that you used to ride around in.
Yes, we had a big wagon, and all of us would get on it, boy.
What pulled it?
2 mules. And Ella May would be driving that wagon, boy. That's why she can drive a car so good now. Yeah, she could drive that wagon through that lock gate. You had to have skills to do that. To drive that mule and for that wagon to come through straight. We had a lot of mules too. Yeah, I remember that good.
You had the mule and the car.
Yeah, T-Mall car.
Who drove the car besides Granddad? I know Mother didn't know how to drive when she came up here. He's the only one who drove it?
He was the only one that drove the car.
Everybody else drove the wagon.
No, nobody else didn't drive no wagon. You mean to church?
No, I mean, who knew how to drive the wagon besides Aunt Ella May?
I guess Essie drove the wagon. God, well, I remember Ella May good.
What'd you do for fun?
We played baseball. And then we played something you call hop to skip.
How you play that?
We draw a square, and draw a square, and draw a square, and draw a square, and then we jump, 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 jump. Hop to skip.
You got playing in the woods?
We didn't play in the woods much, but I know my father went hunting. When the dog, a tree of possum, and we hunted when my father was, and my daddy shot the possum and killed him, and we brought the possum home. And squirrels, and rabbits, and everything else. Hunting was a big thing back in those days. And we had all kinds of dogs too, boy.
You a good shot?
No.
Who's the best shot?
I don't know.
What's your favorite memory from when you were a little girl?
I stayed with a school teacher named Margaret Nicholson. And to me, that was my whole life.
How long you stay with her?
I used to stay with her every summer. After we got through picking cotton and planting corn and stuff like that, then I would go. I remember the first time Miss Nicholson saw me, she wanted me to go home with her, and it was on a weekend, and she wrote Mama a letter. And they had never seen her or nothing before. And I said, oh, can I go? So my daddy said, let her go. I guess that's why I like books today, because of her.
An educated lady?
Yeah, she was a school teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her name Margaret Nixon. And that's where Peggy got her name from.
Oh.
Her name Peggy. But she didn't know that.
Oh, you suggested the name.
Yeah, I told Peggy that. Margaret Nicholson was her name. She's still living.
Oh, she is?
I went to see her when I was home.
Okay. When did you move to Erie?
I came to Erie, I think it was in 1969, and I worked. Then I went back to Mississippi. And then I came back to Erie.
You were working on your degree, weren't you?
Yes, at Russ College.
What'd you get your degree in?
Social studies at Russ College. But I never liked it, Russ College. I never did.
Why not?
I don't know. It just didn't meet my expectation. And but Pearline wanted to go. My twin wanted to go to Russ College, so I would have gone with her. But I was never happy. I never fulfilled going to Rush College. And I'm still not happy or fulfilled, but, you know, I just keep myself busy and think positive, and I always will believe. You know, if you want something in life, you have to make it happen. Some people have to make it happen.
Why didn't you go to Alcorn?
That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to Alcorn. And every year I would leave Rush College wanting to go to Alcorn. They had even got my transcript out to Alcorn. But for some way, my parents wanted me to stay at Rush. And I was very unhappy because they thought a college was just a college, but it isn't. I wanted to be a home economics teacher. That's what I wanted to be.
That's what my dad's sister did.
That's what I wanted to be. Probably the best way.
That's what Grandmama said. She said, I come up the hard way.
But it was the best way. Because we appreciate the value of things. See, some people don't realize the value of $1. They just get their money and spend it. But realizing the value and the intrinsic value of a thing is more important than just, living loose. If I stayed at home, I would never learn nothing but wash dishes. And I remember Reverend Well preaching a sermon about slack remedy. And slack remedy, he means fix a thing when it first happens, because if you wait, it will get worse. And he called that slack remedy. I remember that from a child. All the way up. Well, I can say what I like about my daddy most, and I can say what I like about my mother most, but I'm trying to think what would it be. But I could say they did what they knew to do. They did the best they could. They did what they know to do. When I look back on things, and they had known how bad I wanted to go to Alcorn, they probably would have let me win. But they didn't know. The schools are different, just like houses are different. Cars are different. They did only what they knew. Oh, with Auntie, and that's man worked so hard. I had to try to keep up with her in the cotton patch. She worked so hard. I go, man, that's where she get the energy from. I was just asking that when she got grown. Where did she get the energy to work so hard from? Sometimes we be in the field of working, competing with each other. And boy, she be gone. So now she should learn to slow down a little bit. For spring, and I knew my brother, the oldest one, died. Cause she had him out in the cotton patch. I didn't learn nothing new.
Did you know that Grandmama mistook Grandmama for somebody else when he first met her? You didn't read that part?
Grandmama took who?
When he first saw her, he thought that she was somebody named Mattie Jane.
Who, Grandpa?
No, Granddaddy. Old Dad.
Oh, he thought Mama was Mattie Jane?
Yeah. You didn't read that part?
Yeah, I was just skimming so fast. I did all. But he knew her face, though. See, your dad, you know LQ, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, see, LQ and LMA was born right longer than that together. He might have thought he was LQ Mama. They same age almost.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
But the point is, when Dad was singing, see, a lot of people don't know that when Dad was singing when LQ was born. He wasn't married to Mama. So that shouldn't have been in the hostility in the family. And LQ used to come over too when he was little and play with us. I remember that. And he was so much like an old Dad until Mama saw him in church. She said, "Johnny, you know that's your boy." But he couldn't be denied. And he was singing, and there should be no hostility. between LQ. And he was a good brother. LQ was.
Yeah, how far away from you did he live?
I guess about 20 miles. He stayed from us. If I be out there drawing the water from the well, that's when run out there and knock me out of the way, and she'll take it and start doing it. She'll take the water and be through. That was something, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And she was sew all the time. I be wanting to sew sometime. I'm like, get out that way. And that's the hell of that machine. That's it could make anything. And she get on that machine and that machine would go as fast as it could go. I don't think the machine would go fast enough for her. I never know her to rest. She go from one job to another one without getting any rest. How could she do that?
I don't know.
I don't know. She go from one job to another. Okay, I remember how I learned how to count. We had to eat milk and bread. I think we had 1 teaspoon. So each one of us had 3 turns. So I would take the spoon and I would eat my milk and bread. 1, 2, 3. Then I hand the spoon to Pearline and she'll eat. 1, 2, 3. And that's how we learned how to count.